Hey guys, what's up? I want to talk about. I was going to open my phone. I want to talk about what has ticked me off about the Abigail Zorner trial. It is the trial, it's wrapping up, of the teacher who was shot in her classroom by a 6-year-old student. And so the part of the trial that really ticked me off was when the attorney for the defense was cross examining Abby. It said, well, you went to a Taylor Swift concert and you sent her a message and you did this and you did that, as if assuming the victim of a violent crime is is not supposed to do anything but sit in the corner and rock back and forth. So it really got me thinking, and I wrote this down. Victims of violent crimes continue living, such as the case as those who were victims of the Holocaust, victims of the Catholic Church, victims of military sexual trauma. We have no choice but to continue living. Some of us make the best of it. Just going to cover my situation, short, sweet, and to the point. I served in the military. I was in a multi-MOS unit. That meant there was medics, motor pool, mechanics, etc. In my unit, it was HHC 9th Cavalry Brigade on Fort Lewis, Washington. I worked at the TMC 3, Troop Medical Clinic 3, as a medic, and I had been harassed throughout the military, I had told, and then I was raped and sodomized by a fellow soldier, and I did not tell. It was my then fiance's best friend, and I knew he would not believe me, and I knew the military wouldn't believe me. Not only that, I was raped in his apartment when he had sent my fiance out to run an errand. I decided to lay down. He raped me while his 1-year-old baby was asleep in the next room. Lo and behold, it happened. I said, I am going to deal with it later. I did not report. I moved on. Broke up with my then fiance because I didn't want to see that guy anymore. I eventually got married, had 2 daughters. We moved around. On the outside, people thought my life was great. Why? Because I was a mom. My then husband and I, we did things. We went to the park, went to concerts, we listened to music. Uh, we look like every other couple out there who seem to be thriving and seem to be happy, and we're just enjoying being parents. And so on the outside, everything looked great. I after my divorce, I went on and I was pretty active, and I went to concerts and I dated, and I lived what people thought was a normal life as then a single woman, and then eventually got married again, and so on and so forth. So it's funny because when people say, oh, you served in the military, yes. And I said, I retired at 47 because I was hurt in the military. They say, what happened to you? Did you go to war? Did you go overseas, IED, etc.? I said, no, I was assaulted by a fellow soldier. And they look at me and they're really sad and they say, oh, we would have never known. And I know, because individuals like myself, number one, we don't want other people to carry our burdens, so we don't talk about it. We don't walk around sitting in a corner rocking back and forth as if we are people that need to be locked up in a psych ward. Every woman I know that I am friends with has had a traumatic event happen in her life, but has refused to allow that event to steal the remaining years she has. I don't know about you, but if someone said, well, you were raped, you shouldn't go to concerts, and you certainly shouldn't smile, and well, we can't, are you kidding me? Then how do you smile? How do you find joy? You have to carry this with you for the rest of your life. You, I can't. Why? Because if I carry it, that means he wins. And it's his actions are not my burden to carry. It's just like when you get into an accident and you scare for a little while, but you got to get out. Got to get back behind the wheel and drive. Why? Because you have to get to work. You don't. I don't have a choice. I was with someone, for many years and we raised our girls together, and I didn't have a chance to take a break. And no, I didn't take medication to deal with the situation. And what did I do? Here's my girls. I invested in them. I moved on with my life. I don't know. I really can't tell you how I dealt. It's almost like you to take it, put it in a box, put a lock on it, and say, I don't want this to come out. I don't want this monster to come out and spend time with me. It's almost like you lock them in a vault and you leave them there, and that's it. And you're the only one that has the key, and you say, I'm not going to let this out. And eventually it does manifest itself in many different ways. The fear I lived with for 30 years, well, 25 years, etc. 1990 till now, you do the math. But that's all I want to say is that we can't. You can't stop living. Trauma happens, deal with it, go to therapy, get up. There's life to live. So anyways, that's a part of the trial that really ticked me off. And I heard there was a verdict, and I believe Abby's gotten some sort of justice. But you'll have to watch out for yourself. So anyways, that's all I've got to say, and I'll be back.